The fastest way to make $100,000 in real estate wholesaling. What's up guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I'm gonna break down the fastest, quickest, and most efficient way to make over $100,000 in real estate wholesaling. And you know how I gotta do it. Absolutely for free, so you know how to make your first 100K in real estate wholesaling. I made my first $100,000 in real estate wholesaling by 18 years old before I graduated high school, and I want to show you some of the frameworks, some of the tips I used to do that when I was 17, 18 years old to make my first $100,000, and maybe some things now that you can shift, especially in a shifting market, how you can make your first $100,000 as quick as possible. Hey, I make hundreds of thousands every single month. You might not be able to get there within your first month or two, but like as a beginner, it is so easily attainable to make 100,000 in a year. And heck, if you really want to grind, in a quick quarter, you can make $100,000. And that's what we're going to share today. So do me a big favor before we get into it, smash that like button and subscribe, comment below, and I'm going to help you out as much as I can on how to make $100,000 as quick as possible. And really the key frameworks it takes to make $100,000 as fast and efficient as possible is really coming down to your marketing, your systems, so your acquisitions, and lastly, your cash buyers. And that's really what I want to break down today. A lot of the mistakes people make getting their first deal, getting their second or third deal. And the biggest thing, the biggest misconception I want to get out of your head starting out, especially watching this video, is you got to simplify this business. You know, a lot of people overcomplicate this business and overcomplicate how to actually start in real estate wholesaling. And that really just destroys everyone. It's like a race, you know, that race to get your first deal, that race to get your third, fourth deal. If you spend, you know, let's say it's a mile race, right? And maybe everyone's getting an 8, 9, 10-minute mile, right? That's pretty decent, right? If you spend the first 4 minutes on a map of how to run the right way, where's the turn I gotta do, how's the terrain of the running, what's the perfect shoe to what, you're gonna lose, right? And that's the problem most of you guys have. You know, in a 1-mile race, you're spending half the time it takes to actually get to that deal on the analysis part. And honestly, who are the ones that are gonna win it? They just run, right? They just go after it, right? They don't stop. They do some thinking, but like most of the time they're just taking action. And that's the biggest problem I find people trying to make their first $100,000 in real estate wholesaling. A lot of really smart people, they honestly fail starting out because sometimes they're so smart, it's ruining them taking action because they take too much time analyzing everything to see how they can make their first deal, third deal. And the truth is, if you just take action, you're gonna do fine. You're gonna do well. It's like weightlifting, you know, like how do you get really good at weightlifting? You could do your research, but like just going out in the gym and just going, that experience you're gonna do getting your first, second, third deal is gonna be way more better than any video you can watch on the internet. And that's one thing I tell a lot of people you don't really hear any YouTuber or wholesaling talk about, but the experience is gonna be the best key for you to figure out what's good or not. So this is the first thing. It's like lists and your marketing, and then your marketing channels, right? So what is the right one to get your fastest deal possible? And the way I can tell you is by testing it out. I can't tell you right now with 100% certainty what list or marketing channel is gonna be best for you. I know it's really good for me. I don't know if it's gonna be good for you. For example, for me, I got my first $100,000 strictly off of bandit signs. That's right, those We Buy Ugly Houses signs. Literally just printed them out, stuck them outside my high school wrestling tournaments, and I made a ton, I'm telling you, a ton of money and deals by just doing that. And that worked really well for me. I loved doing it. I was a full-time high school wrestler. I was full-time in high school. I actually was a bag boy during that time. And I didn't have too much time for my marketing, and it worked really well. You know, I spent a couple hours in the morning putting the signs out, answering after classes, and sometimes during classes, and it worked really efficient for me. The problem is maybe it's not gonna be really good for you. Maybe you don't like putting bandit signs out. Maybe it's not the best thing for you. Maybe that's not good for you. Now, starting out now, you know, doing some more marketing channels when I was 18, 19 years old, I figured out cold calling, I was really good at it. And I got really good at cold calling by just doing it. You know, I spent 5 hours a day, 5 days a week for a year straight just cold calling. That's literally what I did. Mostly high equity leads when I was virtually wholesaling in college, and I did so good at that because I spent so much time just calling and calling. I got really good at it. And that's because I knew, and I kept calling, I kept getting deals, and that really motivated me to just keep going and becoming as effective as possible. And the only reason I knew what worked for my cold calling is because I would cold call a bunch of government leads, right? I did a bunch of code violations, I did a lot of water shutoffs, probates. I tested every single list out, and I found the ones that hit really well for me. And I figured out, because I had so much time in my cold calling, that the high equities worked really well for me, the code violations and the probates. That was very effective for me. So we come down to like, what's the way you get the fastest possible deal? In my opinion, the best possible marketing strategy to get your first deal, your second, third, fourth, all the way to 100K as fast as possible is being slow in the beginning. And what do I mean by this? Let me kind of break this down the right way. When you're starting out, I want you to try to do 5, 6, 7, 8 lists. That's right. I want you to go try to cold call, SMS, text blast, whatever type of marketing you really want on those lists. And probably over a month, you're going to figure out that 2 or 3 of these lists are giving the most motivated sellers and appointments. And then what I want you to do is go hard, quadruple your results on that one, and just go after it. Same thing with your marketing channel. Hey, test if SMS text blasting is going to work really well for you. Is cold calling going to work really well for you? Heck, probably my favorite marketing strategy to get your first deal is probably reverse drawing for dollars. But I don't know if that's going to work really well for you or not. Now, in 90% of markets, reverse drawing for dollars is absolutely going to be destructive and killer and absolutely amazing for you. But some people they can't do it. They don't want to do it. Maybe they don't have a car and it's not efficient for them. You need to test out what's best for you. And yes, everybody loves a game plan. Everybody wants to know, hey, Zach, you tell me what to do, right? So if I have to tell you what to do, my best strategy to get your first $100,000 as fast as possible is testing. But ultimately, if you just do government lists and Zillow for sale by owners and driving for dollars and reverse drawing for dollars, that is honestly probably the best thing you could possibly do. So let's break this down. What are government lists? These are lists you get from the government. They're absolutely for free. Again, quick plug at freewholesaling.com. That's my free wholesaling course. I show you how to do it absolutely for free. So government lists, these are probates, code violations, fire damage properties, water shutoffs, arrest record lists, technically pre-foreclosures, and get it right there, divorce lists. Guys, the list goes on and on and on these types, liens. Guys, I can go forever on this. At freewholesaling.com, I really break it down, so I recommend you go there and check it out. But if you get the government list and start cold calling that, that's gonna be as effective as possible. Get the skip tracing for free at truepeoplesearch.com, or if you really want to get really fast and efficient, I would pay for skip tracing if you have the money for it. Again, the information's free. Sometimes you got to pay for some of this stuff, but you can absolutely do it for free, just truepeoplesearch.com. Some people complain that it's free, but you kind of get what you pay for a point there. But truepeoplesearch.com is really good for free skip tracing. Got to pay for it. Use like a listrei.com on PropStream, or just use like zachdata.com batch. It's probably the best skip tracing out there. Now, what are the other type of lists that I like that aren't government lists? Guys, you've seen me once or twice a month cold call Zillow for sale by owners, and I don't do it just because I enjoy being cursed out over the phone on these crazy lists, but I do it because if you want to get a deal within like 2 hours, Zillow for sale by owners are probably one of the fastest ones possible. And there's literally 0 excuses for you not to get a deal on a Zillow for sale by owner if you got no money. Let me tell you, the list is already on Zillow.com. You literally get free skip tracing, and there's type of criteria you can do in any market in the entire United States. Guys, you see me do the spinner wheel of all 50 states, put me in any state, I'll get a deal, right? And that's how I become super efficient with it. You know, I cold call probably 5, 10 hours a month live on the Flip with Work YouTube channel and on this YouTube channel also. And what I found is I do a ton of deals just live in front of you, cold calling these leads, and all I do is have a conversation with them, seeing their motivation, building a little bit of that rapport, which from my experience is easier for me. Again, it might take you more time to do it, but you can do really, really well at it. And eventually just have that conversation, see if they want to budge on the price, negotiate the best price possible, get a price commitment, get a contract, lock it up. You can do an e-signing service if you're doing virtual wholesaling on it, because 49 of the states are virtual for me here because I'm in Florida. And then you just find a cash buyer pretty easy. So Zillow for sale by owners are absolutely really good. And then reverse drawing for dollars, which I recommend with the government leads, or from just regular drive for dollars, which driving for dollars is on this list too, where you just drive around, look for ugly looking houses. I'm telling you, you just call them up, see if they want to sell the property, if they're the owner, put the property on contract, you're good to go. Now, reverse drawing for dollars is basically when you get a yellow sticky note and you just slap down the house and see, hey, my name is Zach, had a quick question of the property, call me, put your phone number on there. If you do that 50, 100 houses a day for, I'm telling you, a week, every single day in a week, you're bound to get a lot of good leads. It's like direct mail, but it's absolutely free. And it's really, really effective. You're gonna get an insane callback rate. Reverse drawing for dollars, nobody in your market's really doing it. Not a lot of people talk about it because they don't run a real business. These gurus are terrible. And I'm telling you, the people that do it, they actually get results, they actually get leads, and they actually do really, really well. And this brings it back to the acquisitions part. Now, the thing is, we don't want to be perfect on our acquisitions. A lot of people complicate the acquisitions, and that's where a lot of people get stumped getting their first $100,000 when you really realize getting your first deal. I mean, I got my first deal at 17 years old, and at 18 years old, scaling up to 100K a year, I wasn't that effective. Like, I was just a teenager. I had a lot squeakier voice, right? A lot skinnier, a lot smaller, right? I wasn't as effective, right? I didn't look as older. And honestly, all I had to do was have confidence in saying, hey, I'm looking to buy your house. I kept it very, very simple. Hey, I'm looking to buy your house for cash. What price are you willing to sell it for? And they just locked it up, found a cash buyer, and then wholesaled the deal. I'm telling you, the imperfect action is going to be better than the perfect action, just being Mr. Perfect salesperson all day. It's not going to be the best thing. The best thing is you just going out here and taking action for yourself. So the acquisition's easy, freewholesaling.com. You get my whole acquisition. We're still conditioning all of our sellers. The point here is if you can go as soon as possible in the appointment, speed is going to be everything in this business. You're just going to go to them, get the best price possible, and then just go after it. And then this brings us back to dispositions. And dispositions is an easy one for me. For a lot of people, it gets really, really complicated. A lot of people, they're not as effective on the dispositions. And honestly, if you just do these simple frameworks for cash buyers, you're going to do really, really well. And one of my favorite ways to find cash buyers just right now is just cold calling the for rents. That's pretty much it. You just cold call the for rents, and they're just right there on Zillow.com. I know I'm like a fanboy on Zillow right now, but it's a really, really effective way. And one little hack I can give to you if you're in person on finding cash buyers, it's for my virtual people, for my in-person. This is a quick hack that the gurus don't like telling you. You got to buy the courses to learn this stuff. But if you just go to your local real estate auctions, there's probably one or two of them every single weekend. If you're in a bigger city, there's probably one or two of them every single day. And just search real estate auctions near me, even at the courthouse or in person. There's some great in-person ones. Guess who's going to these auctions? Cash buyers, and they're buying properties for cash. So if you can go in the auction like an hour before and just talk to the people who are at the little auctioneer thing that like, oh, I signed up for an auctioneer, guess what? Have a conversation, explain who you are, and see if they're looking to buy any more properties for cash. Especially, most people don't win these auctions. It's really, 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 it's a secret hack. It works really well. Just go to the auction, introduce yourself as a wholesaler, and that you can sell them properties for deep discounts. Basically, you have a property in a contract, do the assignment of contract, a lot of them are fine with it, and you get probably 10, 20 cash buyers in probably an hour, and in person, you actually build it. It's really, really effective. It's a very big secret. A lot of realtors there too that represent cash buyers. Really good. And the last part here is realtors. Realtors are actually really, really effective, especially in the real estate wholesaling business, because they have cash buyers that are willing to overpay. A lot of people in my market don't do it. A lot of people just are scared to talk to realtors. They don't bite. If you can give them a marketing fee, they're going to be really happy. So the moral of the story here is if you keep this business simple, if you figure out the simple lists from the government, you're going to do well. And you go after the type of lists I just basically said: government list, Zillow for sell by owners, driving for dollars, reverse driving for dollars. You just cold call them, SMS text blast, reverse drive for dollars, and you just get after it and just take that action. You're gonna do well. I'm telling you, like, you just keep constantly talking to sellers who have a motivating factor like this, you're gonna constantly do very well. The more, it's a numbers game, guys. Like, the more sellers you talk to, the better chance you're gonna get a deal. And once you get that first 1 or 2 deals, you know it's clicking, you just triple down on that strength, and you scale up to 100K. That's the fastest way to make $100,000 in real estate wholesaling right now. There's no other way. There's no, this type of little system that's gonna work for you. Guys, these gurus, you probably got an ad before you watch this video. The fastest way is these free lists and these just free tactics on finding real estate wholesaling deals. This is the stuff I use to run a 7-figure wholesaling operation, and I hope you do the same thing. So guys, if you got any value from this video, please smash that like button and subscribe, and I appreciate it. Have a blessed one.